Hello, everybody. Welcome to our paint along today. I'm working on this tree painting. This will be the third pass. Welcome to Art Prof. We are a global art party. Tell me in the chat as I settle into this painting, what have your artistic projects been? And by the way, in case you missed it, this is the reference image that I am working with. And today I am using these paints that are from Geneva. And these are the paints, they have oil medium already mixed into them. They're very drippy. And the first thing I want to do is check how wet this is. Oh my gosh. What? It's still wet? That's insane. It's been at least a week, probably longer. Oh, okay, this is dry. I guess this paint doesn't like to be thick. Oh, the orange is still a little wet. Is anything... Okay, this is the red. Oh my gosh, this is like not even close. Oh, okay, up here it is nice and dry, but it still feels tacky. It doesn't feel bone dry. Oh my gosh. That upper corner is super wet. I guess in the future, I really should not layer this paint at all because it's not good for the thick stuff. And a reminder, everybody, for those of you who want to paint along with me, you can go into our Discord and hang out in the Art Alongs channel, post what you're working on, and I love sharing with all of you what people are working on. Feel free to go in there, and I will share whenever I get a chance what is going on in the Discord. Tell me what art supplies. What have you been working with this week? Because for me, I tore down my house trying to find this really stupid silver point needle. I did not find it. And then last night I thought, you know what? I'm going to try again. But I did not find it. It was really sad. I think I want to try to get more of this orange glow. It's really concentrated here, but there should be more patches of it. Okay. And by the way, everybody, here's the palette. You can see the white is already dripping. The red is super thick. The consistencies are very different with this particular type of paint. And a reminder to everybody, if you want information on the reference images or supplies, we always try to put that in the video description for everybody to look at. I guess when I started with this paint, I just had no idea how to use it because it's not your typical oil paint supply. Just to warm up, I'm gonna pop in some of that yellow. I feel like there's such a division right now because this is all cool colors and only warm colors down here. I mean, there's a little bit of yellow, but I definitely... Oh, that's too thick. The mistake I made is I started with this paint trying to put solvent in it, and that was a huge mistake because it is so thin. Really does not need oil medium. But there's this almost reflected light. Ooh, that was too much. Let me get a soft brush. This is a brush, it has nothing in it, and this is oftentimes a really good way to go in and just work it in. This is hard because it's not bone dry. Oh no, I guess I'm getting a little bit of a glaze there. I need a rag though. I'm trying to be a little careful because I really don't know how dry some of these spots are. But I already have too much color in my brush. Okay, that's a good glaze that I'm getting in there. I tore apart my house. I did not find the silver point needle, but I have been looking at a lot of artists this week, specifically via Selman's, Vija, who does absolutely exquisite pencil and prints. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I'm getting a little bit more beefiness in some of the orange. I'm trying to be pretty picky about where I put it. Yeah, out of all the paints I tried for oils, this is the one that really threw me for a loop because it really is built for alla prima painters, which I am not one. This is the one where I really had to change the way that I painted to get things to work. And even now, I don't really think I did a great job of that. Sorry about my chair. I need to get a new office chair. And you know what I'm going to do is even in some spots where the orange is not super visible, I'm going to put it in anyway because I just feel like there's too much separation right now between the upper section and the lower section in terms of color. Like it's too separate and I don't like that. I'm going to be using my rag a lot today. But again, this is the brush that doesn't have as much in it. And I'm trying to pop it in a number of different spots. I don't have a lot going on right now in terms of warm and cool. Oh, okay, that's nice and brushy. I like that. Yeah, some dry brushing would be good. This is something I do often is when I'm adding a new color, I try to jump around and put it in a bunch of spots because usually when I get in trouble is when I have that color isolated to one part of the painting and then it's a lot more difficult to get it to integrate into some of these areas. Yeah, let's build this up. I just feel like this bottom area is really messy and disconnected, which is fine. It's got to start that way. I'm okay with that. But I guess if I use this paint, oh my gosh, I'd have to have like 10 paintings going at the same time because it's just super different. Oh, I need to cut my rag. Give me a sec. I need to find a pair of scissors. Okay. I got up this morning and I set up really early and I was like, oh my God, I'm so prepared. Of course, I'm not. There's still so many things I forgot to put out. And you know something, if you guys don't mind that little red button in the upper right hand corner, that would be a good way for me to record some of the process here with a DSLR. So that way it's possible for me to cut some videos later where the video quality is better. All right, let's just push some of these around. Oh, that's kind of nice. Have a little bit of a glaze going on. Yeah, I'm just rubbing it into the surface. Because otherwise, sometimes the paint looks like it's just sitting on top and then it looks super flat. All right, let's see what people are talking about. And remember, everybody, we also have the Discord, and we already have so many things in here. I love that everybody is sharing. All right, so Silver Song finished the cacao pods, and the plan this week is this beautiful drawing with, oh, I love the range of line weight Silver Song. You have very thick lines here, very thin ones. That line variety is really great. We also have Ka, who is working on a sea. Oh my God, the cat! I just noticed it. I love it. Well, because the image is very low in contrast. It's a pretty limited color scheme. And I love the specificity in the food. And we also have Chubby Pikachu. Station is up and ready. You guys, I will never get tired of seeing photos like this. That's why oftentimes during the workshops, I'll ask people to post pictures of their supplies. And actually, we learn a lot about different brands that way without having to buy all the supplies ourselves. Butter is working. Oh, it's your white on white. Yeah, I saw that the other day. Mushroom Still Life, 15 stroke challenge last night. Oh, what is that butter? Tell us about that. That makes me think. There was a technique that my professor, Tony Janello, told me about. It's called the artist run. And I really want to try it someday. It's where you paint one stroke, run way back, look at it, run back up, paint another stroke. So basically, it's like this artist workout where you get to get a lot of exercise. Oh, cool, Lisa. You're moving along with these penguins. I remember seeing these in open studios yesterday. Great to see that progress. Here's Buddy. Is he still here? Yes, he's pretty knocked out on my chair. Here are the brushes that I'm using today. So everybody knows these are very, very smooth, and they are synthetic bristle brushes that Kathy Speranza told me about. So I'm going to really focus on those today. I don't think I'm going to do anything with a lot of major texture. Yeah, hang out in the Discord, everybody. It's the place to be. Oh yeah, the red button is when I come back to the painting. And that's just me recording on the DSLR. So I can get some much better footage than what we would get on a live stream. This is a good point from Retro Boy. I struggle with painting and trying not to draw when I paint. What has helped me a ton is not holding the brush like a pencil, because this is a really firm grip and you can see there's not a lot of mobility. And what I'm doing right now is I'm like leaning way back and I'm painting with the very end of the brush. You can see this can go in more different directions. It's harder to control, but it sets you up to paint more in a painterly manner than with something that feels like a pencil. That's usually a problem. Yes, that's correct, Neil. The Geneva paints, thank you, Jason, for sending these to me. These are the paints, and they are formulated to have oil medium already mixed into them. And I found that I just did not have to use oil medium at all because the paints are super runny. But I guess that's one of the reasons that it's okay for them to take forever to dry, because if you're painting alla prima, which for those of you who don't know, that's when you just do it all at once. There's no layering or anything like that. I could see that being okay. But for me, because I do rely on layering a lot, it's not really the best fit for me. But I was very happy to try a different oil paint, because out of all the oil paints that I tried for the painting marathon, this is the one that was the most distinctive. Like, it really felt like a different paint compared to the stereotypical oil paint that you see in the store. Janice says, bought some golden glazing liquid. Paint stayed wet for days. I paint with acrylics. This is not something I'm used to. You know something? If you want it to be really long to dry, Janice, I don't know if you've tried, Golden makes an acrylic paint called Open. And of course, we have a video on it. Just look up Art Prof Golden Open. You'll find it. And that paint stayed so wet for so long. I was very impressed, because I was a little skeptical about it at first. And a reminder to everybody, if you have a question, please write question in all caps. That'll make sure I'm less likely to miss it. If I do, just post it again and I'll take another look. Retro Boy says, started gesture and tone. My faces remind me of a comic and shading from a gothic novel. What am I doing wrong? Can you follow up, Retro Boy, and tell me what your goal is? Like, is there a particular look that you want? Does the comic and shading bother you? Because I don't know what your goals are, and so I can give you more help if you can be more specific. Snow zone. Oh yeah, isn't the Northeast getting totally pummeled by that right now? It actually started to get really cold in Utah recently. Okay, so Butter is explaining 15 stroke challenge was a demo by Aline Ordman with soft pastel trying to depict still life fruit or vegetable with only 15 marks. Oh my God. I don't think I could do that. Although, one thing that I did ask somebody to do in a workshop once, because they were getting picky about their portrait, is I said, I want you to draw, maybe it was a painting, I want you to paint the mouth in no more than 15 strokes. And it really helped them a lot, because I think when you can give yourself limitations, it makes you work a little harder. Because I know for me in the past, it goes back to that painting as if you're drawing with a pencil, which is I would just sort of fuss and make little strokes, when really some of the great masters, what made their work so incredible was that they could put down one stroke and it would have tremendous impact. So it's talking about being more efficient with your brushwork by having fewer strokes, but also really asserting a degree of confidence that you can get. Because when we're not confident, at least for me, I start doing this. I think Jordan calls it chicken scratch in the context of drawing. Anna says, oil paint is so stressful. I'm a messy painter, tend to get paint on my clothes. Get an apron, which I have, and for some reason am not wearing right now. You just have to remember to put it on. That is very helpful. All right, let's get back in to the painting process. Do people find that the first half an hour of painting, nothing happens? I don't know. It's like it takes me a while to get back into the mindset of where I want the work to be. right now I feel like I'm just warming up. It's like, I don't know, it takes time to get into the mindset again. Not trying to do anything big and bold for that reason because I don't think I'm quite ready for that just yet. The other thing I wanted to mention, we're talking about strokes that look very big and bold. But it's interesting. I think a lot of brushwork in paintings looks fast, but is not made fast. Because I find that this is sort of weird, but one of the ways that I tend to start to feel a little bit bolder is I'll put down brushstrokes very slow. So I'm curious, for those of you who want to paint in a bolder way, do you find that you have to make slow strokes or do you paint them fast? Because I made the assumption a long time ago that, oh, those brushstrokes by John Singer Sargent, they look fast, so I got to paint them fast. And something where I really learned my lesson is in watercolor. Because in watercolor, I didn't do that. In watercolor, I started painting stuff really slow, and that's where I was able to be bold and assertive. That was a huge game changer for me. Like, it never occurred to me that that would ever be the case. Ugh, I think there's too much. I think I'm not painting thin enough. I just want little pieces of orange, but the issue is because this is a new color, it just looks like it's painted on top. So I'm trying to soften some of the strokes, make it a little more mild. So that's the issue, is when you start putting the other layer on top, the layer on top, it always feels sort of separate, which is why glazing is so helpful, because you can see that rubs the color into the painting in a way that I do like very much. I think I want some duller colors down here. Maybe I'll do a glaze of like, I don't want to use burnt sienna, maybe blue, because this is already orange and this is very greenish blue. So maybe a very light glaze of ultramarine. I do want to clean this brush though. This is my brush cleaner. This is a silicoil brush cleaning tank. You can see that there's a coil inside. And I find that I'm very addicted to this feeling, which is, oh, there goes my rag. Oh, I just got blue everywhere. I just love the bounce. It really helps get the paint out. It's very gentle on your brush. And inside here, this is safflower oil, which is made by Gamblin. And this replaces solvent that I would typically be using, like Gamsol. But the issue with solvent is that it does create fumes, which I don't want to have because I work at home. Yeah, let's get in. I just feel like this is all so bright. Okay, I'm going to just try straight blue. I'm just really curious what will happen. I might need to put thinner in this, though. Ooh, whoa. Oh my gosh, that's gross. I don't want that green. Yuck. Oh, yeah. Ugh, I don't like that at all. Oh, you know why? Because I tried to do it on top of an area that was wet. Okay, I need to do it on the area which is dry. Although, Okay, we'll see. Oh, maybe I do need to add that solvent. Yeah. Hang on a sec. Let me go grab my solvent. I really hope this is the right solvent because being me, I did not label my squirt bottles. I really should. I'm pretty sure this is it. Okay. And I'm going to take a quick photo so you guys can see because, oh my gosh, the ultramarine blue, it is so much thicker than the other colors I've got. The yellow and the red were very, well, it's mostly the yellow is super runny. And remember, everybody, I am going to be posting updates here in the Art Alongs channel so we can get better photos in there. Okay, let's dip some of this onto my palette so I can get a nice, super, super thin glaze of the ultramarine. I'm going to make it super thin. Okay, hopefully this is better. Oh, I need to get rid of that. Yeah, because this is one really dark spot of value. Okay, let's take that away. Tell me in the comments, by the way, which are you more hooked on, color or value? I know Anna is here in the chat, and I think I know which one is the one you like more, Anna. Color. For me, it's definitely value. I love spots where I can really go to town on the dark. I mean, to my detriment. You know something? I don't think I want to use these smooth brushes. They're making it hard for me to scrub the color in. Let me switch to a harsher brush. These are, yeah, okay. So this is just your standard bristle brush. Maybe this will help me get them in more. I don't know. It like takes a little while. Like even when you think you know what approach, it's like you don't really know until you try it. Ugh, everything's so oily. Okay, let's try the more textured brush and see if this helps me. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's much better. Okay, good. I guess that takes time. Ugh, oh, shoot. I shouldn't have put that green in there. We'll go over it later. Although, I don't know. Maybe that's okay. I'm not sure. To give it a shot. I can already tell I'm being a little timid with my brushwork right now. Because I do like some of the floppy strokes I have up there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to replicate that. And actually, I'm going to add a little burnt sienna. I think the blue is a little bit too pronounced for what I want. So this is burnt sienna with a little touch, oops, of the ultramarine. Oh, yeah. Oh, that burnt sienna really helped. Okay. I don't know. I was thinking, oh, that burnt sienna is going to be sort of dull. But it actually worked out okay. However, me liking values so much. Oh, that's nice. Wait a second. Oh, maybe. Oh, okay. So we'll put burnt umber here. We'll put some deep ultramarine to get the value range up here, which is pretty dramatic. Or I don't know, maybe some of you are good at both value and color. I had a graduate school teacher, and I want to know if you guys agree with this, who said that between light, color, and form, that most artists, or no, I think the way they worded it was artists can only have 2 out of the 3: color, form, and light. And it makes sense in a couple contexts. I mean, I have not thought this through at all, but think about Rembrandt, okay? Rembrandt is all about light and he's all about form. I'm not saying he's not about color, but he's not about color the way that, say, Matisse is about color. I don't think it's a perfect argument at all, but it was an interesting take. Like, what is really the emphasis? Maybe that's what they were trying to point out, is that certain painters emphasize different things. I mean, for me, I went into this really thinking about color. That's not always been the case for me, but that was my mindset. You know something, I was also thinking, since these are all Prima colors, I really wish there were more colors, because they really only have one red, one blue, one yellow, burnt umber, and white. And I think Mark Carter, the guy who invented these paints, that was intentional, I believe, because he has a whole system for mixing that I think makes sense for working this way. It's a very particular system he has for mixing, and I could see how that might be the case. Oh, that's fun. Oh, I like that. Ultramarine. Nice. Oh, that's fun. Oh, I like that. Oh, you know what I need to do? There's all these lines. Okay, hang on. Let me finish up some of these strokes and a couple of these dark areas. And then I'll come back and re-articulate a couple things. The other thing too is this paint, it's so thin that it's actually difficult to use a palette knife with. I mean, I guess I could do with the red, but a lot of the other ones, not really so much. Oh yeah, I really like the textured stuff better. I do want to show my strokes. And I think that's a spot where I start to do that. Okay, let me take some photos, some close-ups for everybody to look at. Okay, this is the ultramarine. That was way too textured for me, and I'll take some photos of the close-ups of the darks and some of that yucky green that I didn't like. Maybe I'll change my mind later. I have no idea. Reminder, this is all going into the Discord if you guys want to see better images. Let's take a look and see what people are saying in the chat. By the way, I was thinking also, you guys want to have a rant and rave vent session? What is the thing you want to rant and rave about that is related to art? I want to know, because I think so much of the time we don't, well, if we're respectful of other people's time, you don't want to rant all the time about your art problems. So tell me in the chat, what is your art rant today? My rant is that I couldn't find my silver point needle. My kids are always like, you have too many art supplies. I'm like, I know. It's like a genuine problem. Like, I'm going to go to the store today and I'm going to buy a new silver point needle. And how much do you want to bet I'm going to find it when I get back from the store? Like, that is my major issue. Like, I cannot find things. And also, when I went through my house rummaging for it, of course, I made a bigger mess. So now all the boxes are like open, and yeah, that's my rant for the day. What is your artist rant? Tell us. in the comments. Okay, so Retro Boy is following up. Studying anatomy and gesture drawing, trying to create lifelike, but it reminds me of a comic. Sometimes something that people do that they do refer to as looking cartoonish when they're doing figure drawing. In fact, I was talking to somebody in a workshop about this the other day, is they were worried about that. And I said, well, listen, how about you try varying your line width more? So that way the line isn't the same darkness and the same width. That can oftentimes have that look. I mean, it's hard for me to say without actually seeing your work. And by the way to get me to see your work, everybody, put it in the Art Alongs channel, and then I'll take a look at it on the live stream. The other thing too, sometimes it's your references. Sometimes people have terrible reference images that look fake to begin with that are not helpful. It seems like it would be easy to get a good reference, like, oh, you just need a model and a camera. No. There's a lot of references out there. They look really fake. I've seen a lot that, I mean, they look like AI almost. I mean, maybe some of them are AI, but I have found that people over Photoshop things. I've seen reference photos where they have the model, and I'm not kidding, it looks like they spread oil all over them, like they were a bodybuilder, or the lighting is terrible and weird, and so it's hard to get good references. We do have a lot on our Flickr page. Link is in the description below, but I can tell you those are real people without the Photoshop and terrible tasteless lighting. Oh, this is interesting. Anna says, I paint fast strokes, edit them very slowly. Yeah, depending on what you want, absolutely shift up your pace. Alexander says, nothing fast. Paint a layer, add our mix, wait 20 minutes to 24 hours. Well, that's the thing that I'm finding is that oil painting is so time consuming. And I knew that, but I haven't used it in such a long time that I feel like I forgot just how long. So the major issue is that, well, not issues, can be a good thing, is there's just so much time in between the dry times, which for me, it's almost like your painting is marinating, like it's getting tastier, hopefully, as it sits there. But I think the main difference is that the painting stays in your head for longer. If I'm doing a drawing and I just spend a week on it, it's easier for me to just set it aside. But these paintings have been sitting around for a while now because I've been working on them after the painting marathon. By the way, speaking of marathons, did you guys see on the live stream schedule there is a gouache marathon coming up pretty soon? And a reminder to everybody, it is incredibly helpful for me if you guys can help me get the supplies, because I have most of them, but I do still want to get Daniel Smith gouache. And also I need a set of Winsor Newton because I feel like I never owned a set before, which probably explains why I didn't do a lot of gouache in the past. But the link to my wish list is in the video description. If I can get those 2 gouache sets, we will be ready to go. Oh, and also some hot press paper. I'm all out of that. I usually just have the cold press. Neil is asking, I think my brain is too literal to the detriment of my art. Not only that I can only paint realistic stuff, the way I process abstract emotions is by depicting them in a literal, realistic way. It has to start there. I think brainstorming sessions have to start with the cliche. What is the very first thing that pops into your head, even if it sounds super dumb? Draw the cliche, then eliminate it. That's one way you could try it, Neil. Oh, you know something else? I bet you anything. Oh my gosh, I have the best idea for you. It's on my desktop. Okay, hang on. All right. This is a series of drawings that I did, gosh, a long time ago. This is in like 2008. I was doing my series of people wading in water. But this was at the beginning. I was pretty stuck, wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. And so I talked to my wonderful colleague, Bill Flynn. This is a very, very beginning of my career. And he was so wonderful. He said, make 20 drawings in a row, like don't get up, just draw 20 consecutively in one run and try to draw every single drawing with a different style. You can see, and these are chronological. So this is number 1, and then we go through, and then this is the last one. Okay. Now, when I did this exercise, I would say the first 9 images, those felt easy because I thought, oh, we'll try this, I'll try this, I'll try this. But you know something, around number 10, I got really stuck. I was like, I did them all. I don't know what else to do. You know what happened? The water ended up at the top. This is what I ended up with. I started doing a whole bunch of drawings where the figure was flipped. Well, no, the figure wasn't flipped. The figure was the same, but I immersed the head in water so that you can see the next few images all have the head in water. There's another one down here. But you know something? The one that I really liked, ultimately, I really liked this one. And guess what? That one, whoop, sorry. Oh my God, I can't control this. This is what, number 17? Took me 17 images to get to the one that I really truly thought was interesting. Now, I never used these, the ones with the head in the water, but what it did is it shook up the way I thought about the project. You could try that, Neil, 20 in a row, and see what happens. I found that extremely valuable in terms of trying to make a shift towards something else. We also have, okay, Neil's following up. For instance, if I wanted to pick the abstract emotion of love, I would paint a realistic scene of a family. I don't know how to use abstraction or symbolism. Might be my style, but it's limiting. Sometimes a way to do it, Neil, if you're talking about emotion, is just think about the colors that match the scene and think about what kind of strokes. For example, if you make strokes that are super harsh and sharp looking with a bright red color, that's a very aggressive looking image. Maybe just write down what colors remind you of what. Okay, if I have a very soft blue, that makes me feel very calm. If I have a deep dark purple, maybe I feel more demure. Maybe just making a chart like that, like just paint a bunch of color swatches and assign an emotion to them and start from there. All right, so we have George is value, Sabrina is color, Ka is color. I love hearing about people's various emphasis. Also, okay, we got a rant. My rant is I don't have enough time to make art. Okay, yes, that is definitely me. I want to paint all day, but I have to work to live. I don't think I want to paint all day, but I want to be able to paint without interruption, which is that's just my life. I just am always being taken away to do things. That's the thing that I really just crave. I want to be able to just sit down and work however as long as I want to work without somebody bothering me in the middle. Anna's talking about anti-Semitism, ableism, ageism, yada, yada. Mystical Ren, most of my clothing has, yes, me too. Still, I forget that just a quick touch-up usually turns into a full-on session. It doesn't protect my clothes. But you know something, that just a quick touch-up, sometimes it's a nice entry point where I'll sit down like, oh, I'm just going to do this one thing. And then before I know it, an hour has passed. And that sometimes is a good thing for me because I need that hour, but I oftentimes don't give it to myself. Butter says, can't figure out why folks seem to so easily manipulate their kneaded erasers. Was I pulling it wrong? Are my hands weak? Tried a new brand and it is so much softer. Yeah, the brands do matter. I think it was Prismacolor had a kneaded eraser. It was like super sticky. I was not a fan. The one that I like a lot, I don't know if this is a brand, but on the wrapper it says design. That's the one that I always got. That one had a good meat to it. The Prismacolor one, it was sticky and it was too thin. I'm very particular about that. But that butter, that's more a symptom of the brand than it is your hands or anything. Lisa, okay, this is a very unique art rant. Photographing the inside of a dark but reflective freezer interior was frustrating, plus my ice cream started to melt. The things we do for our art. Okay, so Retro Boy, let me bring this back up, which is in the Discord. We have this channel. You can find it here. It's under live streams, but you may have to scroll quite a bit. We have a lot of channels, but just go to Art Alongs and you can see we have a bunch of people sharing stuff. Ooh, Chubby Pikachu, Japanese sweet. Oh, I love the swirl. Beautiful line work. I like how active it is. Yeah, if people share in the Art Alongs channel, I'll pull up your stuff on the live stream. I won't be able to do a full out critique. I do full out critiques in our workshops. And another option for people too, for a full out audio recording and transcript critique would be Art Club. Those are the two places. If you want really in-depth feedback from me, you'll get it here. On the live stream, I don't really have time to do that. So I'll give you a couple comments, but nothing in depth because of the time limitation. This is Lisa who says, I got carried away for a thumbnail. Oh, I love the fuzziness. Does everybody see, like here, the roundness really shows the form of that beak? So fun to see because Lisa was in Open Studios yesterday, which, by the way, is part of Art Club. Open Studios is 2 times a week, and that's a 2-hour voice session where you get to chat with me and work on your projects at the same time. It's like a workshop, but there is no set topic. People are really working on their personal projects. Ka is working on details. I love all the mushiness here. I mean, you can really see the difference in texture. Like this looks like, I don't know, mashed potatoes. These look like green beans are a little bit more structural. Those textural differences are very important. So nice work on that, Ka. Here are some higher res images of the brushwork. So if you guys get in here, you can really dissect exactly what is going on. This was the brushstroke that I didn't like. You can see it's dry brushing, which I love dry brushing, but it wasn't what I wanted here. I wanted more of a glaze. Where I got more of that was up here. This area, I really was trying to pump up the value. I think this is the glaze. It looks like it. But you can see this is a deep ultramarine as a dark, but then in other spots, this is also dark, but this is the burnt umber, which mixed a little with my orange, which made it a very deep neutral green. I hope you all like my nerdy deconstruction of colors because I could do that all day. So if you look here, the burnt umber is very runny. The white, very runny. The ultramarine is runny, but it's not like the white. And then the red is not really runny at all. The yellow is super runny. And this is why it takes a lot of time to really figure out what your paint is like. Because depending on the brand, you could have the exact same Naples yellow, but it absolutely could be a very different color depending on the brand. Alexander, I can't just run to a store and get one thing. Online art stores want me, so I spend a lot to get free shipping. Oh my gosh, that is a very effective justification. So I wait till I can't do without something and then fill my cart. Okay, I would like to know, when you go into an art store, what is your strategy? Because I am like, I'm going in to get that one silver point needle, I'm leaving. That's it. Although sometimes I'm like, I want to look at these gambling things. But I'm pretty good because I know it's extremely dangerous. But I know some people like to browse. See, I don't browse. Browsing is very dangerous. Tell me what you're doing in the art store, or maybe it's just random, or maybe you saw some very pretty cold wax medium. You had to walk in, or maybe, oh, see, I don't look at sales. Do people here look at the sales that art stores have? Because I never look at those for a good reason. Yeah, butter. It's all about the brand. By the way, I am putting together a graphite materials video, and I will be talking about aspects like that. I mean, sometimes the way I find myself talking about things, I'm like, oh my God, Clara, this is so ridiculous. But I feel like you guys do care about that. I don't know. Let me know. It's like to such a degree of precision, the way that I deconstruct things, that I can't help myself. It's like I can't half explain it. I have to explain it 1000%. Okay. Let's get back into this. Oh, I need to shoot a progress shot also, so you guys can see. And this I will also post in the Discord. I hope it's helping you guys in the Discord. I mean, it's helping me, which is probably a good sign. Usually, if it's helping me, it's helping someone else. Okay, so that's in the Discord. All right, let's... I think I need some detail because there's all this line work up here that I think I really need to do. Okay, let's work up here. Sometimes we do these long streams and I'm like, oh my God, I got nothing done. It's like always the case. Okay, I'm going to stick with the very stiff brushes because a lot of the lines in here are not so precise. I'm going to start at the top. And I think I'm going to stick with the blue. The blue, I did have to put a lot of this oil medium in. I'm going to start with the paint being too thin, and then I can always go back and fix it. Oh, I got to record. Actually, let me double check the focus just to make sure. Oh my God, Buddy is like totally passed out. Because that's what I'm missing. I don't have any of these like really pronounced dark lines. I think I need it thicker because there is one spot that's like super dark. Yeah, I'm going to wipe that away. Oh my God, it's still freaking wet. That's ridiculous. By the way, I'm curious, what is people's experience with drawing in general? Is it a big part of your practice? Is it a small supplement? Is it for sketching? Because I'm hoping to get this out pretty soon. But I went to Derek McLean's scenic design studio. He was the designer for the sets in Moulin Rouge, and I asked him about drawing because he does do. Oh, that's too much. I think I need more dry brushing up here. I think it's a little too thick. I'm going to work out some of the paint on my brush so we can get more dry brushing in there. But anyway, he still does pencil drawings. And I said to him, all right, well, where is drawing in your process? And you know what he said? I was like so excited when he said this. He said, drawing is the basis for everything we do. Oh, my heart. It's like, thank you. We need more people saying things like that. Because he showed me a whole bunch of these models that they make, intricate models for these Broadway shows. And he said it was a combination, what they do, of Photoshop and CAD. And I mean, it was like so many things to make a model. Like he had this elephant that was made out of Sculpey. I mean, I loved seeing all of those differences. And yet he's still there with a pencil drawing stuff. And I just was so appreciative of that. It's like, can I just put that on repeat? Drawing is the basis for everything we do. It was such a great moment. And he wrote a wonderful book that I have. It's called Designing Broadway. And he shows a whole bunch of set designers from like a long time ago and all their drawings. And the drawings are beautiful. Some of them are so atmospheric. They're just so wonderful. I do want to make a reel on that book because I think a lot of you guys would like that. I did mix a little bit of red in here because I wanted to get more of a purple shade. No, I like this dry brushing. Oh yeah, that's helping. Okay, I like that. Anyway, it's like super excited when he said that. I was bummed because he was really busy the day that I went, and so I didn't really have a huge amount of time to spend with him. But that was like, oh my God, one of the coolest things I have ever seen. By the way, is anybody here a fan of Edward Gorey? If you don't know who he is an illustrator. And he actually, older folks, you guys will know this. His characters were the animation at the beginning of Mystery, the show that was on PBS. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? And I remember so clearly, okay, at the very end, there's a little detective and he's like writing little notes. And at the beginning or in the middle, there's a woman who's lying down going, "Ooh, ooh." She's like really like screaming in this melodramatic way. It was a really weird, curdly sound. Oh, you know what I need to do? This is too dark. Oh, I should mix up like a lighter brown, but first I'm gonna work some of these in here. Some of them are a little harsher than I would like them to be. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's too dark. I need to add some sections that are less like that. Some of these just, they feel like they're drawn on. I don't really like that. They have to sink in a little bit better. Okay, let's mix up something that's a little more mild. How about a very cool brown? Okay, I'm going to mix. Oh, and let me show all of you the glaze that I just did. I'll put it into the Discord. So this was a glaze. And then I did add a little bit of this red to make it a touch more purple. Okay. All right, but I do want to mix up. Where did my reference image go? Oh, there it is. I want something that's very cool. Okay, so I'm going to take my palette knife. Oh, maybe I'll take some of the orange and put it into the blue. Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Okay. That's a complementary color thing, by the way, everybody. Okay, this color up here used to be a clear-cut yellow and red mix. So it was super saturated. And I just took some of this ultramarine and I mixed it in here. You can see it's a very dull yellow. However, it looks too green. I'm going to add a little touch of yellow. I'm going to add a little touch of red so it feels less green. Again, complementary colors. If you add them, it makes the other color more muted. Hopefully this red will take care of it for me. Oh yeah, that helps. Okay, now this is the mixture. I thought it was too green. I put a little bit of that red in here, and now it doesn't look so green. However, it still looks too saturated. So I'm going to add a little bit more blue since it's essentially orange. I'm going to try to dull it down a little bit more. That's my reasoning behind the colors. I think sometimes people feel like they don't have any control over the colors that they mix. And that's how I reason through a lot of things. Now it's a lot more dull. And that's because I added some blue. But you know what? Now it's too green. So let's add a little bit more red into the mixture and get a little more dull. Okay, now that's much more muddy than it was before. Let me just try. I sort of think it's maybe a little bit too saturated still, but let me just see how it looks. Well, you know something? This brush had a lot of blue left over, and now I put it in here, and it's green. I'm just going to put it down. I'm like, I'm tired of mixing this. Okay. Trying to find my spot. Like, where am I going with this? Yeah, those are too severe. I'm going to wipe them down. That's what happens is you add these new strokes and they look too much like they're just drawn on the tree. Not totally thinking this is the best color, but it's a color and I can always fix it later. So that helps me articulate that spot a little bit better. Get a little more definition in there. Same thing, anytime I add a new color, I want to put it in several spots, not just one area. Oh, weird. There's just like one. I guess it connects over here. And this goes like underneath. So that helps to articulate some of that. And now I'm going to take a little bit of this brush to blend it in. And I'm also going to take a rag. Make sure that doesn't look too harsh. I'm also going to do a little bit of blue down here because I feel like this is too yellow. So that blue will offset that. Oh, I keep putting down too much paint. Let me zoom in. You guys can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Oh, I guess that's, shoot, I have the camera positioned too far away. Sorry about that. To be able to make those changes. Okay, let's do another pass with the rag, because again, I still feel like a lot of this stuff is too much on the surface. I do like some of these strokes at the top. I think those are working. And then afterwards, I'll do another pass with the light color. I guess I'm kind of ignoring the bottom. All right, I want to get more of this color in because I don't want it to stay too isolated. I'm going to go back to the blue. I mean, it's all turning green. Maybe I just have to give in. Too lazy to fix it. Painting is so slow. I mean, you should have seen the difference because I was working on that Rick Grimes portrait from a really long time ago where we were focusing on the beard. And I was like going, like, I'm not exaggerating. I was going absolutely crazy with that, but it was fun. Exactly what I wanted. All right, lurkers, time for you to say hello. You don't have to, but I really like it when you guys do. Some more careful dry brushing. I like that I'm starting to subdivide some of these things. I think that's helping. And then I'm going to back up with a little bit more ultramarine because this is like too much of this color. I do want to get that color a little less prominent, but I'm glad that it's a lighter color. In fact, you know something? I should mix one that's a little lighter. So let me add a little white. Let's see if this helps make some strokes that are a little more mild. Oh, that's too mild. Okay, I guess I need the value because I'm trying to subdivide all these things. I'm using these dark patches in here to help me organize where to go. Oh, I feel better about that. Nice. Not where I want to be color-wise, but at the very least, I'm articulating the tree better. All right, let's get an image into the chat. And I'm also going to shoot a whole bunch of close-ups so all of you can see what that color is now doing. Got this in the Discord, and then take a look at the chat. All right. Anna goes into the art store with a list, but I allow myself one non-list item, I guess. But what if that non-list item is really expensive? No, retro. To get a couple canvas, I went, left with a bag full of charcoal, and realized at the red light I needed the canvas. Now, you know what's worse is when you go grocery shopping and you want to make this one dish. Like I make this spinach souffle that my kid really likes, and I'll go to the store because the one thing I don't have is heavy cream, but then I'll come back and I didn't buy the heavy cream. Like that is such a thing that I would do. Butter, feel up all the paper before I get my hands dirty. Yes, I do that. That's sort of like, okay, go feel the paper, leave. George goes in with a list, browse to see what else is there, usually end up with something extra. See, that's the problem. Oh, W315 ampersand gesso board. It's really nice. Can't remember if this is the one. Maybe this one has gesso board, but it's a really beautiful surface. Janice, you are my kindred spirit. Drawing is my first love, my favorite medium. Okay, good. Mystical Wren, you remember the woman in the mystery series. I just love that animation. When I was a kid, I always watched the beginning and then I never watched the rest of the show because it was like too adult. I mean, I was like 7 when that came out. Well, the reason, oh, Marlin, huge Edward Gorey fan. Actually, I could pull this up and show you guys. My friend Jessica Strauss, who some of you may have seen the studio visits we did with her. This is Jessica's Instagram, and she finds the most incredible things. Look at this. This is, oh no, not this one. Here. This is the Edward Gorey house. And it's full of all these quirky moments. Look at these frogs. I was like, okay, I need to go here. And I think I'll be able to go because I'm going to Rhode Island in February. I mean, who wants to go here? Tell me in the chat. It's like, I need to go here. I don't know what I would love to draw here. I think it'd be amazing. I mean, I'm going to call them up and talk to them about filming and all that. But I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I really love these types of places where it's someone's home and it's not just just a museum. Museums are fantastic, but it's a whole different journey to see a place like this. Realistic rotting skull. I like how it says realistic. I wonder if it's real. Gosh, I guess I didn't swipe through the whole thing. What is that? Does anybody know what this is? Because it's in the drawing. Weird. I wonder if he made that as a reference or for something else. He's one of my favorite illustrators. Just extraordinary. Saji says, I have way more confidence with drawing. Colors are so confusing. Definitely me too. I still think I'm much better at drawing than I am at painting. I think my painting has improved, but I still think my strength is in drawing. DJ Poopy says, drawing is what I enjoy most about art. I have to force myself to paint, mostly because working with color hurts my brain. It's doesn't hurt my brain, but I have to focus. Like I can't tune out the way I can with drawing. Alexander. Yeah, I would love to go film there. And actually, I'm really irritated, you guys, because a place that I really want to go film. And I was like, oh, we should make this more official, even though I have filmed stuff in the past. And I was like, hey, can I do that? Nothing. Totally ghosted. It's like, how come people can't see the value? Maybe some of you guys can explain this to me, that people cannot see the value in me going there filming. And I oftentimes, I mean, sometimes I'll charge a fee. It depends on the place. But why would you not want that publicity for your place? Because oftentimes what I've done in the past is I'll do collaboration with a place and I'll post on Instagram, but I'll do that collaboration thing where it will also post on their profile page as well. And I'm like, I've got the chops, okay? Look at our videos. They are not crap. And I'm like, why would you turn that down when it's so easy to say yes? I don't get it. Or I filmed things for places and they just didn't share. I'm like, I made the thing for you and you're just not going to share? Like, I don't know. I'm really, and that was when I had an official collaboration. I'm not just talking about some random place. I'm talking about a place where I went to film and they gave me all these permissions and stuff like that. And I made the videos, they approved them, didn't share. Not even Instagram. So I was like, you're the social media people. You don't see the value in having a real. I will never understand. Yeah, apparently Mystical Ren would like to go as well. Let's take a look at what's happening in the Discord. I love seeing all the progress, everybody. Chubby Pikachu. I think I'm starting to understand the cream. Japanese sweets, there is nothing like them. They're so beautiful. Oh, I really like these quick pencil sketches. Chubby Pikachu. Here are some of the little blobs. This was ultramarine blue with the solvent-free medium from Gamsol. This is the ultramarine, but I dulled it with a little bit of the burnt umber. And then you can see I built in a little bit of red because I wanted a more purple shade. And then here, this is what I mean by the second layer looking like it's just drawn on. I don't want that. I want the new strokes to really sink into the painting. So oftentimes when I have very crisp lines, it looks like it's just painted on. Now this doesn't do that. This is a glaze, and this lets it sink into the painting a little bit better. This is a little bit better, but it's really strokes like this one that got me in trouble. It doesn't merge. God, what is happening here color-wise? Oh my God, what a mess. Ugh. I don't know, I kind of like it though. That's way more colors in one area than somebody like me would typically do. Because I like my blacks. Actually, this is burnt umber. I don't think the set came with a black. Yeah, it's very, very few colors. But again, it's all intentional. It's because Mark Carter, the guy that made it, made that decision that he wanted to teach that particular way of painting. Thank you, George, for offering an explanation. You've got the video chops, but a lot of others don't. They may be afraid of opening the door to being bothered by a ton of hacks. Yeah, I think it's just I'm so deeply immersed in producing all this stuff. I think doing a pretty good job that I can't get into the head of their point of view. So thank you for that, Andrew. Welcome. Thank you for that, George. Sorry. Welcome, Andrew. Retro Boy says, with new art supplies I've never seen, I get talkative like a kid in the candy store. I just go in and I'm like, oh, my. I'm having heart palpitations. I mean, especially if I go to a store that I've never been to before, like Gara Paint and Hiromi Paper. I was like, it's like getting really, really excited about that. Remember, everybody, a great place to get in-depth feedback from me in the form of an audio recording plus a transcript is in Art Club, because there are critique channels where I leave stuff for people, and we have voice sessions with staff and open studios. This is absolutely the biggest bang for your buck out of all the programs that we offer, and it is all in the Discord. Just get into the Discord. Like, once you're in there, I hope that you will like it, because we've worked very hard, the mod team and the staff, to make it a welcoming place, and we do boot people very quickly when they are jerks. Okay, let's get back into the painting. I think the painting is starting to get fun. I'd love to know that, actually. Do you find the art making process, is it fun? Because it's not fun for me. It's stimulating. That is a big difference in terms of how I look at things. I find it very exciting. Oops, wrong spot. I thought I had a... Oh my God, where am I? Is it here? Oh, no. I need to go back up here. Because I find art very stimulating, and it excites me in that way, but I don't find it fun. Fun is going to see Hugh Jackman at Radio City Music Hall, which is starting in 3 days, but I couldn't afford a ticket. The tickets were so much. I think the cheapest ticket was like $250, and that was like the back row of it. And the good tickets, oh my God, they were like $1,000. Like, who are these people that can afford $1,000 to see somebody in concert? Like, just think about how much I like Hugh Jackman and how much I want to go. And yet I can't justify that expense. That is insane, in my opinion. So I'm very sad, because he's been posting a lot of videos on Instagram of him in rehearsal, and I'm just like, oh. I really thought I'd be able to get a ticket, but with that type of price, it's like, I don't want to go if I'm in the back row. That's not fun. Oh, tell me in the comments, because I don't think enough people get to see things live because of the exorbitant ticket prices. Who have you seen live? When? Because now, because the ticket prices are so high, people are not getting to go as much. I read some article in the New York Times, and they said that there's a whole generation of people, I think it's the boomers, who said, yeah, I could go see Bruce Springsteen for $25. I mean, granted, that was a long time ago, but my kid really wanted to go see Queen. They were showing in Colorado. Cheapest tickets were like $800. I was like, who are these people? How? Like, it just feels wrong to have music be that inaccessible. And one thing that I was really excited about, well, not really excited, but do people know The Cure, the band? Robert Smith is the lead singer, and yes, I was totally obsessed with him when I was in high school. He actually has been pushing against that. He's been trying to get places to not charge such exorbitant fees, because he said it was just absurd. And I was like, you know something? If we could just get some more musicians to be on board with that, maybe there could be change. But it's like, until you get the right person making a fuss about it, it's very difficult to get any traction. So I was very proud that he was advocating for that, but it's so frustrating. Like, why? Because there's nothing like a live performance. And it just made me really sad. Because some of the live performances that I've been to in my life, I mean, they're you remember that forever. I got to see Madonna on the Blonde Ambition tour in the 90s. And I did see Hugh Jackman on Broadway when he was in Boy from Oz. That was in, I don't know, 2002 or something. Okay, I think I need to go back in with some more. Well, this is like really weird pattern here. It's like sort of stripy. Weird. Okay, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to drag it with another coarse brush. This is my bristle brush. So I have these stripes, and now I'm going to drag it upwards because that's sort of the motion that we're getting. I'm going to mix another color like this, but I want it to be like a neutral ultramarine. Let me come in here and clean some of my brushes because, gosh, sometimes I'll just end up with 20 brushes to clean and I get really stressed out. So I'm trying to do them more as I paint because I hate having to clean up so much afterwards. In fact, let's just clean some brushes for a minute. That'll make me feel a little more calm. Because I just decided on these live streams, I'm going to move at my own pace. I'm not going to speed things up. I'm just going to show you what it's really like. Also, notice I'm not wearing a prom dress. I don't know why people paint like that. And they always have pretty plants. I don't know what it is about the plants. But I don't have any pretty plants. In fact, I killed an amaryllis plant that I had for a long time. We actually got it to flower twice, and now it's dead. Tell me if you're a plant killer. I wasn't before. I used to be really into my plants, and I guess I'm just really busy now. Okay, I feel a little less stressed because I'm doing my brush duty. And now I don't have to have a horrible mess to clean up. I love this. Who here has a brush cleaning tank like this? I mean, some of them have a mesh instead of a coil, but I really like the coil. The coil is just, it's so gentle and bouncy. It just does such a great job of cleaning brushes. And again, this is safflower oil, so that way I don't have any fumes. Oh, there's still a lot of orange in there. Shoot. Ugh. Is this clean? I can't tell. Oh, this one's nasty. Okay, let's clean this. I don't know. Maybe I should spend a little more time with the rag. I feel like, I don't know, that color is sort of popping too much. All the lines. And I feel like it's taking over some of the blue that I like. That's from the underpainting. Let me just go in with a rag and let's just rub some of it in there. Because you know something, a lot of painting is doing stuff like this. Like cleaning brushes, scraping my palette. It's like, oh. You know what I'm going to do also? I'm going to take a brush like this, and I'm just going to put some medium in it so that way I can get it to melt into the painting. Let me see if that works. Oh, yeah. Whoa, that worked really well. Oh, awesome. Okay, I'm going to do that in a bunch of spots. Oh, nice. Oh, that definitely makes it. Oh, that white was still wet. But that does seem to work pretty well. I feel like I did too much up there. Let's remove some of that stuff. I think I'm going to use a cool blue next. But I do like that I'm maintaining the brushiness here. That I do think is helping. Yeah, I definitely need a cool color next. I think this is getting awfully brown. I want to fix that up. Oh, yeah, that's better. Okay, I'm happy. Wait, what? Andrew saw Hugh Jackman in a play called The River? Ooh. Although somebody gave me their front row ticket when Aaron Tveit was singing at the Soroya in LA. He must have been like 8 feet from me. Okay, I was definitely having heart palpitations. Neil says, what is the liquid inside the brush cleaning tank? You know what? I can show you. Hang on, let me go find it. It's somewhere here. Oh, here it is. It's the Gamblin. This is it. Solvent-free fluid. It's made by Gamblin. Again, you can find the link and all of the art supplies in the video description below. We always try to do that. And if we don't, tell me and I will fix it. Neil is saying, does the brush feel oily after rinsing it in safflower oil? Does that interfere with the painting process? It's oily, but I haven't found it to be a big problem. I mean, it is a difference if I cleaned it with Gamsol. Gamsol's super runny. The oils have a higher viscosity, which means they're a little bit thicker. But I prefer that. I don't really like how runny the solvents are. Like, I don't paint with solvents. Some people do, but I only use the solvent for cleaning. Oh, I want to see Hadestown. You know, I really wish that I gotten to see it when Jordan Fisher was in it. He was in the Grease Live show a ways back, and Aaron Tveit was in that too. There's this one part in that song, Those Magic Changes, where they have this like gorgeous harmony, and I just want to die. Alina says, sometimes the art making process is fun. Sometimes it starts out fun, becomes a chore. The more I get into the piece, then I have to step away, start something new because I'm too stimulated. Hey, Snap Sketch, so glad to have you here. I love that a lot of you will come and hang out with us. Life happens, and then you'll come back. We're here. As long as the earth exists, we're going to be here. I think. Saji says it's fun when I feel like I'm not making a whole mess. It can be super frustrating. Oh, yeah, this is a good point from Anna. Last show I saw was Hadestown, but I won the lottery for that after a few times trying. Theaters in New York have a pretty good lottery system if you're persistent enough and willing to wait. Yeah, I don't have that option because I'm not local, so I just splurge. Well, I don't spend money on fun things very much, and that's one little thing in my budget. I'm like, okay, within reason. I'm not spending $1,000 for a Hugh Jackman ticket, but I'll plunk down money for Moulin Rouge. Let's see. What's happening? Yes, I was not wrapping up. Sorry, I just had to do a plug for Art Club and workshops and open studios, which is a part of Art Club. I just think you really captured the fuzziness Lisa. Like, especially down here, the marks are so haphazard. I can really feel the fur. That's really fantastic to see. Oh, maybe I should post an image at this point. I will get that in there. So yes, I know we don't really have fireworks here during live streams, but I hope it gives you guys insight into what it's like. I mean, do people here think that the time lapses have ruined your sense of reality in terms of painting? Or do you find them satisfying? Because a lot of people tell me they like them because they feel satisfying. But you know something? I don't like them that much. But maybe that's because I'm looking for something very different compared to what other people may want to do. And that's fine. But I just sort of feel like no matter what artwork it is, the time lapse videos, they just feel like dime a dozen. By the way, everybody, I'd love to hear. I hate this chair. I'd like to hear from you. What was your experience? Well, what is your experience right now in terms of brain fart? Hang on. I got to think about painting for a sec. I am going to. Oh, I remember. Okay, let's do ultramarine with some of that solvent-free oil medium from Gamsol because I think it's getting too brown. I definitely want more variation up there. Anyway, what I was going to ask everybody is what's your take on social media right now in general? Because we went through that whole TikTok thing. And I know that Instagram just introduced an editing thing. It's called Edits. It's kind of a dumb name. Sorry. I just don't think it's not very memorable. But I've been telling a lot of people, listen, don't use an editing app that is within a social media platform because a lot of people, because of the TikTok thing, lost CapCut. And I know there's a lot of confusion, like TikTok was gone and now it's back. And I'm like, dude, we're out of here. I can't do this. So we still have the TikTok account, but I'm not going to update there anymore because I just feel like it's such a mess. I don't want to deal with all that. Also, we never really had a huge TikTok following anyway, so I feel like for us it wasn't really a big deal. I know it was for some people, which I feel for them. Some people really truly had their like livelihoods on there, small businesses, and that really is heartbreaking. But anyway, I think a lot of people are majorly reevaluating where they want social media to be for them. And one thing a lot of people are talking about is, oh my God, let's just go back to blogging, email. I mean, a lot of journalists use Substack. We don't use Substack. I do have an email newsletter that is on MailChimp. And you can get that on Patreon or in our server shop too. We also have that. But anyway, a lot of people are rethinking where it belongs. And my advice that I'm trying to give, and I did make a video about this a few days ago, or last week, is to hold on to that email list. Make sure, if you don't have one, to get one. Have a robust website, which, by the way, I'm rolling back the advice I gave a long time ago where I said, oh, it's okay. If you just want to be on Instagram, you can build the website later. And I've changed my mind now that, oh, that felt kind of nice. Maybe I should add more stuff like that. Now I'm walking back my old advice and I'm telling people, listen, get the website, because the way that I'm thinking about this right now, oh, my card is full. Okay, thanks for letting me know. My new attitude towards social media at the moment is I'm treating our sites, not so much YouTube, but who knows at this point, because what we've seen is people have put in a lot of time into these sites, and for them to just up and disappear or do something crazy like Twitter, what used to be Twitter. We also never really had a big following on Twitter, so it didn't really hurt us that much. I feel very lucky that most of our stuff, I mean, our base audience is really on YouTube, and that seems to be the platform that's pissing off people the least. But I think what we need to have: website, email list, and of course we have Discord and YouTube, which I feel pretty good about, but again, who knows? But let's just say all of the platforms totally collapse. We still have the email list and the website, and I save all our videos. So if YouTube crashed or something, I still have all of our content. I wouldn't have the lives, but a good portion of our channel is not live streams. I need that coarse brush again. It's pretty handy. I'm just going to do a pass with this coarser brush to rub some of this in. I mean, I'm looking at some of the strokes, but not that carefully. I want to do some work down here. Maybe something nice and dark. Like a burnt umber, I think would be nice. Because there's all this stuff in here that I just did not even look at. Like there's some spots here that they're sort of like crunchy looking. So I'm going to just throw down a couple of these strokes, but then I'm going to take this one and move the paint around a little more. Make it a little choppier. Not happy with that yet, but whatever. Painting is a big whatever, in my opinion. I just want to make sure I'm not overdoing it, because there are so many pieces to all this. Here, I'm going to add a much bigger, more substantial shadow. Let's go back in, rub some of these. Yeah, I do like that glazing. Okay, that's kind of cool. It's awfully flowy. I feel like it's too flowy right now, but I'm not going to worry about it too much, because I think what I need I need some articulation down here. Like this is really suffering right now. Let's just drop in just some scraggly dark strokes. Because I feel like I'm losing the structure here. I do want to keep the teal, but I feel like these need a lot more presence than they have right now. And by the way, I'm like not even looking at the reference anymore. I will later, but I think right now I just want variety in the strokes, which I don't think I really need the photo for. I just want little touches of value, bring things together. Oh yeah, that helps some of that. And I will go and I'll do another pass, which is white. But for now, this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to make these a little scrubbier. I actually really like this scrubby brush. Oh, this one's really harsh. Let's not use that one. Let's try some bigger. Oh my God, what is wrong with this? Oh my God, ew. Okay, maybe I softened it up a little. Oh, that's kind of nice. Oh, I like that. That really pushed it more in, although these I think I do need to wash my brush. And remember, everybody, if you have a question, sorry, I don't know why that thing is. Okay, get rid of that number. Sorry about that. It's confusing with the camera settings because I have it plugged into my computer via something called an Elgato Cam Link. And then I've imported the Cam Link into OBS and I'm doing a screen share of OBS in StreamYard. Oh my God, don't even ask what's involved with the tech. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty tech savvy when it comes to live streams. And for me, even this tech is a reach. It's so complicated. Somebody commented, they're like, you should really show us your palette. I'm like, dude, do you have any idea? And then to get a physical setup where things are not blocking each other, making sure my mic is close enough, it's a lot. So I'm sorry. I wish I could show you my palette, but I think if I add another camera to the setup, I'm going to die. All right, I'm going to go in here. Oh, let me do the same thing. I'm going to use a little bit of oil medium to push some of those strokes around like this. Oh yeah, that's working pretty well. I'm a fan of that. That's a good technique. Nice. Don't want to lose. Oh, let me go back in with the rag. Gosh, I would just die if I didn't have rags. All right. Let me post an update so we can get that into the Discord. I think my camera's making it a little bit too dark. And let me post some of the more fun strokes that I added. Oh, I really like this one pocket. Ooh, that ended up being nice. Very happy about that. Okay, so all of that is now in the Discord. And let's see what people are talking about in the chat. We have comments about how freaking slow. Shorty Angel says, I do love how slow the process is with oils, so I can learn that taking my time is a-okay. If I had the feeling that I had to rush through painting, it would just be so painful. I don't think I could deal with that, honestly, because it just ruins the thought process. I really just have to slow down. Alexander says, I like social media. Without it, I would be invisible in a hole in the forest, but I do my own editing on my phone or PC, back it up on PC. Yeah, that's the main thing is you have to have those backups. Oh, Alina says, followed your advice. Started working on a website, bought the domain and everything. Yeah, that will always be there. I mean, if you think about what is in our control, no matter what. I mean, I guess the internet could burn itself down physically, and then we'd have nothing. We'd just have our paintings, which maybe that would be, I don't know, that would not be a good thing long term. But yes, I mean, we have an extremely robust website, and I'm so glad because I'm like, okay, if all the social media goes down in flames, people still have a lot they can do on our website. Neil is asking, is blogging dead? I'm considering starting a blog in the future. I have a very old blog. If you guys look up Clara Lieu blog, you'll find it. And I started writing that blog in like 2004. Such a long, that was like 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. I think from my point of view, the word blog, it's a little bit problematic because it feels like a dinosaur term that people haven't used for a long time. I think email newsletter is another thing, but then people are like, "Oh, I hate email newsletters." I'm like, I only hate them when they come from people I don't like. I subscribe to David Lebovitz has an email newsletter, Jarek Krasowska has one. I feel like there's a couple other people. But when I get an email from David Lebovitz, I'm like, "Oh, nice." I mean, if you're subscribing to people you don't like, yes, that's the problem. But I think people don't realize that, yes, if you really like somebody, you will subscribe. I love David Lebovitz. Every recipe I've ever made from David Lebovitz, total slam dunk. Never had a problem with his recipes. So I'm always happy to subscribe to that. So email newsletters, they're not bad. Like people are like, "Oh, people hate email." I'm like, "Yeah, those people are not going to subscribe." You don't have to make everyone happy. Snap says, evaluating what social media means to me, waiting and not trying anything new. I'd be open to experimenting with new social media platforms, but just no energy and time for it now. Yes, it definitely requires some of that. And I don't know if any of you are aware, but we are on Blue Sky. We have not gotten a huge amount of traction on here. Yeah, we only have like 88 followers. Yeah, that's not very much. But if you are on Blue Sky, we are on there and you can definitely follow us there if you want. Snap Sketch says, see, a lot of artists are blogging through Patreon or Substack, but I'm older, probably missing a lot. By the way, everybody, we still have Patreon and a lot of people still use it. But if you want to do art club, we are now suggesting for people to subscribe via our Discord shop because then you don't have to worry about linking your Patreon to your website, which I know some people were having issues with that a little ways back. So if you guys just scroll to the very top, you'll see here server shop. And so here is where you can get a subscription to Party or Gala. Those are the two tiers on Art Club. You can still do it on Patreon, but we're encouraging people to switch over here. It's just a lot easier. And then the other thing too is we do have 3 ebooks now. So we still have the ebooks. They are still on. Where's my link? Oh, here we go. You can still get our ebooks on Gumroad, of course, but you can also get the ebooks here in our server shop, whichever one is easier for all of you. But that's definitely a good place. And then the other thing we started doing too is Discord events. And these are really nice because you can see what all the upcoming events are. And if you want to get a notification, you just tap interested. So you can see now the event is available and you can see that you do get that notification. The other nice thing about the Discord events is that they are in your time zone in Discord. So you can see, oh, it's 13 minutes away and it's in your time zone. So I find that very, very helpful. Oh, Butter started it. Anyone see the horse head? Perhaps I've been too influenced by Lucifer, the giant horse statue at the Denver airport. I think they talk about that statue in The Walking Dead because a woman was like, "Oh, we were at the airport." Oh my gosh, is that real? I never knew the name of that. Well, Alina's seeing a small bear's head, fire-breathing dragon. Okay, George sees a couple of horse heads. Oh my god, Neil. You were born in 2003. My blog is almost as old as you are. Oh my gosh. You know something? I might start reposting some of those blog posts because it's a pretty fun way to look back. Because I was reading one, it was about the 20 drawings in a row exercise, and I didn't recognize myself. The writing, the way I wrote it, the way I talked about it, it sounded like a different person. So I find that very interesting as a throwback. Okay, so Snap says, I'm a fan of just a good old fashioned, regular, free to read blog. And so everybody knows I do cross post things on all of our sites. One place that I think a lot of people haven't thought to take a look at, if you go to our YouTube channel, the community tab is a really great place. This is where I will post things about workshops, things about paint-alongs, or sometimes there's a new playlist or something. So if you guys check your subscriptions on YouTube, this is another good place for you to find us. And I also want to check in the Discord because Chubby Pikachu. Oh, is that matcha ice cream? I love that you did that. It really does look very sculptural. Chubby Pikachu. Butter started to add some cools in the shadows. My camera isn't picking it up in this light. Let's see. Wow. See, I love this because Butter had posted an image of the setup. It is for a lesson in our painting track. It's called White on White. And that is where you learn to really see the subtle differences in lighting. And I can already see really nice foundation happening in here, Butter. So that's the thing. If you guys hang out with us in the Discord, you can share all kinds of things. Especially a lot of people will share in show and tell. This is a really great place to see what people are doing. And just the variety is really amazing, everybody. So if you just come in here and post your things, or even if you want to lurk and just see what other people are doing as well, that is also a really fun way to do that. Snap says, I so appreciate the website, how everything is so easy to find. Oh, good, because a lot of people don't think that about our website. But you know something, everybody, the best way to use our website is if you're looking for something, just use the search bar. So if you want to find out, oh, okay, linear perspective, instead of hunting for it, I mean, you can. There's other fun things as well. This will take you to all of the linear perspective pages. This is the best way to find the thing that you want. But of course, we have categories And the pages that I use the most often, tutorials by topic, tutorials by media. You can come in here and you can look at all the videos we have that are related to animals or plein air or architecture. Or by media, you can come in and if you look under the drawing section, you can see that that is subdivided. So for example, here's something, this is a charcoal section, this is the pen. Certainly you can browse as much as you want, but I know sometimes people are looking for like the thing. I really like that. Lucifer is what everyone calls the statue at the Denver airport because the horse has scary glowing eyes. Sad story because the statue killed its artist, Luis Jimenez. Oh my gosh, that is awful. We do have a workshop this Saturday on pets and animals. I believe there is one spot left. Try to snag that if you're interested in working with me for 2 weeks and doing a 3-hour live session. Other workshops coming up, cloud landscapes, loosen up your art. Jordan is teaching a creature design workshop, and I am also doing a workshop on experimental printmaking. Another reminder, everybody, to join our Discord because that's where it is. I'm in here all day, every day on business days. I mean, during business hours, within reason, everybody. I'm not an ER art teacher, but hang out with us in the Discord. It's a lot of fun. We will help you with tech support. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.